Have you ever organized a trip with many people coming from many different locations? Well, don't worry if you haven't. We have done a lot. So one of our clients reached out to us. They want to do a global workshop. There are 41 travelers, 50% of them are based in North America. They're coming from 31 different starting locations, and there are 16 different nationalities. So they came to us and they said, hey, Group Travel, where do we meet? And which factors should we consider? So what we did, we analyzed 116 locations for them. So that's the green dots are the locations we compared for them, basically, for this specific trip. So when you start looking at flights, it's not necessarily surprising that Washington, a US location, is the cheapest location to fly to for these 41 travelers, because 50% of them are based in North America. But then it's quite interesting to see when you look actually at hotels, that a 5-star hotel in Bali is a third of the price than a 4-star hotel in Washington. Now, since it's an international group, as well, visa requirements might be an issue. So here as well, it was very interesting to see that actually if you bring those guys to Bali, one of them will need a visa beforehand, while meeting in the US, 20 of them will need a visa. So putting everything together, in this specific case, actually the cheapest option and as well the easiest in terms of visa application is Bali, and even Nice, Cancun, Rome, and some locations in Asia are cheaper and easier than bringing them to Washington. So Washington actually here would have been 16% more expensive. So what happened? Now those guys decided after having had that workshop 3 years in a row in a US location to move it actually this year to Bali, Indonesia. We are helping travel managers and travel management companies to find the best meeting locations for their global teams. We are not a travel agency, we are actually a big data analytics company. So we are connecting thousands of data points to help them to find the best location. And best doesn't mean necessarily the cheapest. So we allow them to add information like, I want to meet in a location where we have an office. Or I want to know which are the locations which have the least environmental impact of flying there. Or my CEO wants to fly with a direct flight and the rest can take a stopover. Typical use case. One of our partners with whom we are talking, it's a Fortune 100 company. They have 500,000 meetings a year between 2 and 50 people, which are coming from different starting locations. And they mentioned to us, those meetings are completely under the radar. They're not appearing anywhere in any system. And that's Microsoft, by the way. So we're 1 year old. We launched basically a year ago. We launched the MVP in September with actually the B2C focus. We changed the MVP or our focus to B2B. We just launched the beta platform, and a week ago we started out with our first alpha clients. We have currently 6 alpha clients spread all over the world. There are 2 types of clients, multinational companies and large travel management companies. In its totality, they have a revenue of $110 billion US, and they're representing 235,000 people all over the world. Our business model is basically looking at monthly user licensing. So we have different user licensing categories which we're thinking of depending on the need. We won a Disrupt Award at the biggest business travel industry in London and in Europe, which was happening in London. 8,000 buyers and sellers of business travel services were there, and they mentioned that we are showing some real innovation which actually could have a profound effect on the business travel space. Last week we won another startup competition hosted by Amadeus, which is kind of, let's say, the backbone of the travel industry. $8 billion revenue, 10,000 people around the world. We have a strong team. I'm based in Madrid, my co-founder is based in Johannesburg. Our tech team is spread over Johannesburg and Cape Town, so we are actually a prime user of our own system. And in addition, we have a strong support team. One of our top advisors is the founder of Trivago, and we're just onboarding another top advisor in Silicon Valley who comes from the business travel industry, who sold 2 startups, one to American Express Travel and one to SAP Concur. We are looking for making contacts with potential investors for our upcoming seed round, and as well for partners for sales and distribution. Let me show you a demo. So this is kind of our platform. So it's very simple. You start adding locations here. So let's say I'm based in Madrid. I'm meeting someone who's based in Cluj. You see now the system, the algorithm already will start adding locations which it will compare. And let me add my co-founder who's based in Johannesburg. And then you will see the algorithm actually changes the selection because we are adding locations. And then I say analyze trip. Now while it's getting the data, we did a trip, we were simulating where would be actually the best place of bringing all the Avalanche speakers together. So we put you guys here, and then we compared all these green locations here. And they're very interesting. Actually, Cluj is the cheapest location to bring you guys together. So I think that was actually a great result. Bucharest would have been the second cheapest option. And then Cologne, maybe Cologne would have been faster, actually 385 hours for global, for the whole group to travel to, while 403 hours coming to Cluj. But we're in Cluj. So here you see the 4-star and 5-star hotels we take into the consideration as well. Here the individual flight information per starting location. Yeah, and basically here the details. So that's a bit, that's true travel.
Well, very interesting. Thank you. I'm already thinking, how can this be used for conferences?
Exactly.
All right. Judges, you have any questions?
So this looks really interesting. I was just curious if you have, you know, your own supply, like in terms of special relationships with venues and things like that, or whether you're planning to push in that category, because I think that could be a good way, at least to kind of be more defensible in the long run.
Absolutely. We are integrating actually third-party APIs. So like we're integrating services like their engines who are offering meeting locations. So we are integrating their data and we are becoming a sales channel for them actually. Because we are showing a basic data set, like for example security information. When you do business travel, security is an issue. Even let's say if Mogadishu is the cheapest place to go, you don't want to go to Mogadishu. So we are offering the basic data there, plus then in addition a kind of, well basically you can buy special services then. So we would send this information of the client then over to the provider. So on the flight data, for example, right now we have integrated Skyscanner for flight comparison for hotels. It's booking.com, but we can integrate anything. So the platform is set up that we can use any kind of source.
And then you mentioned the business model, the monthly subscriptions. How does that work? How much are you charging?
So that's something we just started the trial period, which is 2 months. So basically with these 6 alpha clients as well, we will use it to actually refine the business model. So what we found out in the very beginning, our first B2C model was looking at affiliate program basically. And that doesn't work for business travel because people, the big corporates, they have their business travel providers, but they like the analysis, so they are ready to pay for the analysis. So we are looking at, for example, a user license, a super user license for the travel manager. I haven't shown you, the system allows you actually to work on many trips at the same time. There's a timeline, it's ideal for travel managers. So that we are thinking of maybe like €100 a month per super user, but then in addition, we will create a very cheap license for the travelers because the traveler will have an interest of bringing its personal preference into the system because the algorithm will pick this stuff and basically influence the results. So the potential is huge in that respect. If you think that we are currently covering 235,000 employees, if everyone pay €5, okay, not everyone will need a thing, but let's say 230,000 would pay €5 a month, that would be something interesting. And those are 6 clients only.
More questions? All right. Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.